Suri Makina never imagined desperation would lead her into the marble office of Leonardo. For Les, Nairobi felt too loud, too heavy with her mother's hospital bills, and when the agency offered her a discreet surrogacy deal with a foreign billionaire, she signed, hands shaking. She told herself it was just business, no attachments, no complications. But the moment Leonardo entered the room, tall, cold, and unreadable, something inside her shifted. His sharp gaze lingered on her, not with lust, but with the weight of a man who had lost too much. Leonardo wasn't supposed to care. This was a transaction, a solution to his family's legacy crisis, nothing more. Yet when he studied Zuri, her quiet strength, her bold eyes, he realized this wasn't going to be the simple arrangement he had planned. She carried a storm in her silence, and it unsettled him. Still, he handed her the contract. They both pretended not to feel the electricity between them. Zuri tried to convince herself that Leonardo's world, his mansion, his guarded staff, his cold routines had nothing to do with her. She was only there for appointments, tests, and updates. But Leonardo kept noticing her, the way she touched her mother's necklace, the way she flinched at hospital calls, the way she hid her trembling hands when discussing the medical procedures. One evening, as she sat in the guest lounge after a long checkup, Leonardo brought her ginger tea. "You don't look well," he said, voice stiff as if kindness was unfamiliar to him. Suri forced a smile. "You don't have to care." His reply came quick to quick. "I never said I don't." The night before the embryo transfer, Zuri lay awake replaying everything. She feared pregnancy, complications, her unpredictable emotions. But deeper than that, she feared the man whose eyes followed her like a question he couldn't ask. She didn't want to get attached, yet his presence felt safer than anything she had known in a long time. Leonardo couldn't sleep either. Memories of a past lost something he refused to talk about kept him restless. He told himself Zuri was just the surrogate L. But when she walked into the clinic trembling, he held her hand, and she didn't pull away. Weeks later, the doctor confirmed the pregnancy. Zuri's breath caught. She was carrying a child that wasn't hers, a child she would have to give away. Happiness and sorrow wrestled in her heart. Leonardo stood frozen beside her, relief and fear crashing inside him. He wanted to thank her, to hug her, to tell her she had just saved what remained of his future. But instead he said, "We proceed with the contract, a wall rebuilt." A wall Zuri felt in her chest. Leonardo insisted Zuri move into his estate for safety. The mansion was quiet, too quiet, almost grieving. Zuri sensed the ghosts of memories hidden in its walls. The staff respected her, but whispered when they thought she couldn't. Here, something tragic happened. Here, something involving a woman. Late one night, Zuri wandered into a locked gallery room. Inside were paintings of a beautiful woman with stormy eyes, Leonardo's late wife. Zuri realized then that this child wasn't just a business deal for him. This was redemption. Zuri began feeling sick in the mornings, and Leonardo grew unexpectedly protective. He escorted her to appointments himself, cancelled meetings, even argued with his board just to be near. Zuri teased him once. "You're treating me like glass." Leonardo only replied, "Glass breaks every day." The walls between them cracked. She made him laugh softly, something he hadn't heard from himself in years. He cooked her canyon breakfast once terribly, and she laughed until her eyes watered. But at night, Leonardo stared at the moonlit window, wondering why he felt like she was slipping into the parts of him he had vowed to keep locked. Their closeness did not go unnoticed. Business tabloids caught wind of a mystery woman living at Valle's estate. Articles exploded overnight, speculations, accusations, drama. Zuri panicked. She had signed for privacy, but Leonardo stood before cameras and simply said, "She is under my protection. No further questions." That single sentence threw the world into madness. "Under his protection" became a trending phrase online. Zuri's life transformed instantly. She felt exposed, insecure, and strangely wanted. During a thunderstorm, the power went out. Zuri's anxiety spiked. Storms reminded her of the night she lost her father in a flood. Leonardo found her crouched by the stairs, shaking without hesitation. He wrapped a blanket around her and held her close. Their breaths mingled, their fears aligned. It wasn't romantic, it was raw, human, vulnerable. For the first time, Leonardo shared a piece of his grief too. "I lost someone during a storm," he whispered. Zuri touched his hand. The air between them pulsed with a connection neither of them expected. As Zuri's belly grew, so did the backlash. Women who once fantasized about Leonardo attacked her online. Business rivals spread lies. Agencies tried to dig up her past. But Leonardo fought all of it silently, powerfully, ruthlessly. He doubled security. He issued legal threats. He protected her like she was part of his bloodline. And that scared Zuri. Protection was one thing. Attachment was another. Every day she wondered, what happens when the baby is born? What happens to me? Zuri's estranged father suddenly resurfaced. He demanded money, threatened to sell her story to tabloids, even insulted her unborn child. Zuri broke down, devastated. Leonardo witnessed everything and nearly had the man thrown off the property. That night, Zuri cried in the hallway until Leonardo wiped her tears gently. "You deserve better," he said. She whispered back, "Then why does life keep taking from me?" He had no answer, but he vowed silently that life would never take from her again.